Karibuni. This is the hot seat of the Situation Room.
No, these are the hot seats of the Situation Room.
Yeah. Welcome. Now, let me ask you, Honorable Gisora.
Yes.
You look very healthy. When did you last do like a whole comprehensive medical checkup?
In February.
Very good. Very good. Honorable Jackie, when?
March.
Ah, very good. Very good. You people are switched on.
Completely.
So what do they check? Angalia oil, angalia pressure, angalia
Everything.
ball joint.
Everything.
Checked everything.
Uh-huh.
Liver function, kidney function, blood pressure, everything, literally.
Blood sugar.
Urine, blood sugar, whatever. Everything.
Zote. How long does it take?
It took me like about 2-4 hours, but if you include the time for waiting for results, so around 3-4 hours.
Yeah, including the time for waiting for the results.
Yes.
And then once you get your results, then you go back to the physician.
Yes.
And you're going through it with them.
Yes.
And what do they tell you, Honorable Jackie?
So they just run through all the results one by one, which is very nerve-wracking. Tell you, okay, so the sugar is okay, this is okay, this is okay. If there's something wrong, they'll tell you. Yeah, that we need to address this.
Damu yako imeanza kuwa blue.
Yeah, we need to address this.
No macho naonekana red.
Yes.
Yes. Then they'll start asking whether you're sleeping enough.
Yes. Uko na pressure? Kuna mtu anakusumbua? Nyumbani uko aje? Now, that conversation is what we're having, courtesy of the Aga Khan University Hospital. They're saying, well, everybody, please, take it up upon yourself as an important thing to go for annual and regular medical checkups. And with only 9,950, you can go to any Aga Khan University Hospital clinic that's near you and tell them, I want a comprehensive medical checkup. And just like you've heard from their owners this morning, it's simple, it is not painful. It's you go in there, you do the test, and then you're told if there's something that you need to change, if there's some things that you need to start working on in terms of your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise, your pressure, the people around you. If you need to, move out of your neighborhood for a bit.
You need to go and visit your parents and visit your relatives a bit.
A bit. It's important. You need to take a break from work a little bit, It's important. They tell you all these things, and it's good for your health. Senior City.
No, it's actually really, really good for your health. And the reason why it's good for your health is in the unlikely event that something is noticed to be not quite right. See, now you know. Whenever you hear, so-and-so was suddenly hospitalized. Yes, the hospitalization is what is sudden. What took them there wasn't sudden.
Yeah.
It was always in the
always
making, and it is these tests that tell you that this thing is within you.
Yes.
The disease doesn't land on you on that day. It's been resident, comfortably enjoying your body, and then when it decides to manifest is when you're taken to hospital in a rush, in an ambulance. So to avoid all this, all you need to do is go to any Aga Khan outlet. Now, you've already had your test. Now, those of your compadres who probably feel because, well, I am young. When you're young, that's what you tend to feel. Or, I'm old, but I go to the gym. Go to the gym by all means. Be old as much as you like. But do have a check up. It is important.
Get as old as you want. Why don't you welcome them with the day's Proverbs City?
Yes, the whole of this week we've been looking at Proverbs from the Republic of Botswana. Last week, this week, and the following week, we've been looking at landlocked countries. Now, this is a question we ask our guests so that we can test just a little knowledge. A little. Mention one landlocked country, and don't mention Uganda.
Chad.
Central African Republic.
You sure? Try another one. Don't worry, I also didn't do geography.
I can't remember.
Maybe beyond Form 2. This knowledge I acquired when I was researching on this thing. So I sound knowledgeable, but it's because I've been reading.
Yeah. Ethiopia.
Okay. You're not doing too badly. At least you know 2 countries in Africa. This is good. No, you're okay.
At least you're aware.
Yes, that there's Ethiopia.
You are right, even on the Central African Republic.
Yeah.
You're very right, actually. But it's good to pull
Because
it.
I know what you thought. It has to be somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
And
Central Africa
is middle.
And then you mentioned Chad. I was like, yeah, man.
And Chad is just above. Yes.
Okay, the proverb?
Son-in-law, hasten. The marriage cattle are gone.
Son-in-law, hasten, the cattle, marriage cattle are
Are gone.
Start, Honorable Gisora. What's your interpretation of that proverb?
Son-in-law, hasten, the marriage cattle are gone. I can't even do it. I never even imagined you would say something like that.
We're trying to figure out what is this. First of all, what's just the literal translation of this? What is the proverb saying? Son-in-law,
Hasten.
the marriage cattle are gone. What do you think, Honorable Jackie? What's happening here? Who's talking to the son-in-law?
And by the way, you cannot be wrong. When you're asked for your interpretation of a proverb, it is your interpretation.
I think I'm overthinking.
Yes.
So there's an in-law speaking,
Right.
Okay.
and there's a marriage situation.
Yes, you're right. And what do you think they're saying? At what point will you say that the marriage cattle are gone?
What does that mean?
You never finish dowry. You never finish dowry in most African societies. And it's probably just a reminder that, please, son-in-law, don't forget that you've got relatives on this side. And you need to come every so often and see us.
That is a beautiful interpretation. Yes.
Everyone.
Very beautiful interpretation. Give it a stab.
She's still overthinking.
No, I think also it could mean that. Okay, let me just think like a woman.
Please.
So it could mean that probably this son-in-law is not paying much attention, or his attention is diverted. So he's being told to just hasten before the bride takes off.
Good interpretation. On a scale of 1 to 10, you've both gotten 10.
Wow.
It's interesting.
Yes, because with a proverb, it's how it resonates with you. Yes, it's not whether is it right. It can't be wrong. Yes. The only time it might be wrong is if you say, well, you know, these guys have replaced the cows with the donkey. Now that
Okay, let's get into our conversation. Today we want to talk about bail and bond and just getting to understand what bail and bond means and what the terms are, all right? But let's begin with the Chief Magistrate of the Makadara Law Court. You're the head of station?
Yes. By the grace of God.
What does that... Makadara is a very, very, very busy court station.
Extremely busy. I think the busiest in Eastern Central, if you asked me.
Eastern Central?
Africa.
What? How many courts do you have there?
We have 10 courts. Now, we used to have 11. Unfortunately, because of the incident that occurred there, we've lost one. So we have 10.
Okay.
Yes, we have 10.
Handling what kind of cases?
Criminal cases only. And then, of course, traffic and petty offenses. So we don't do civil. We don't do land cases. We just do criminal cases.
What's the bulk of the cases that come there?
Bulk, violent robberies, grievous harms, assaults, a lot of the sexual offenses and gender-based violence cases, obtainings by false pretenses, and of course a lot of illicit liquor. There's a lot of that. We've got lots of traffic cases also.
Nairobi kona changa mingi.
Mingi sana. And you won't believe it.
What?
You know, as you're speaking, I have to ask this question. Do members of your court, that entire system, do you people have a place where you debrief. Do you get psychological counseling? Do you get it? Because every single day you're either dealing with a murderer or a thief or a rapist for heaven's sake.
Yes, our employer has been so gracious. We've got medical access to Chiromo, and every other time stations organize retreats for their members. So yes, we do get time to go back and lay back and not do the normal thing that we normally do, and just call in somebody to speak to us and help us.
It's not enough. You actually need to have people who talk to you, not every once in a while, systematically, periodically, after a month, person to person to person. Walk through what you've gone through, because everything you do, you internalize.
I agree.
Now, let's get on with this.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Jackie, we've introduced you as CSO National Coordinator. What does that mean?
All right, so CSO is basically community service orders. So it's an alternative sentence to imprisonment.
Mm-hmm.
So what CSO does is really just sentence when people are sentenced by courts to conduct unpaid public work. So unpaid public work is really could be clean out of drainages, just public, and it's unpaid as a form of sentence, as a form of punishment, exactly. So essentially, the people who qualify for that are people who are being charged with petty offenses. Yes. So they perform that work for a period of time to a maximum of 6 months, and then it's supervised by probation officers. So what that means now, being the coordinator, is that I work together with probation officers. So I'm attached to the probation department for a period of time. And then there now we're able to coordinate that between the two state agencies, which is essentially judiciary and the probation department, to ensure that the program is successful.
So a judicial officer will sentence somebody in their court
Yes.
to community service
Yes.
for 3 months. But the judicial officer is not going to say, I sentence you to slash grass in Kariako market for 3 months.
No.
It's just be to community service.
The probation officer will recommend the site that is available.
After the sentence has been passed?
No.
Or is it before?
Between the conviction and the sentencing, they provide a report to the court, and they'll say this person is
these
suitable.
are our needs.
These are, yes, yeah, actually, that's a good way to say it. These are our needs. Probably we need Marikiti cleaned, or this school needs a landscaping program, and they recommend specifically and say, this person to perform this work, we recommend in this particular site.
How does the probation officer determine the needs?
They have work sites. They have CSO work sites within their... They know them. They're the ones who know them because they're the ones who supervise.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it that they are working with the schools? Are they working with the county? So the county tells them.
They know what is there in the community, isn't it?
Yes.
They know the schools, they know the hospitals, they know the markets. We have got people who work with ward admins. So they know where the projects are. They have done their research, they have listed them, so they know where to ask. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, they've got those people there who head those institutions to help them supervise the people.
Okay. Now, let's come now into the bond bail, and then let's see how then that ties in to community service. So introduce us, what is bond, what is bail? We'll turn on police bond, cash bail. Never get to understand what these things are. Free bond. Yes.
So now, bail is an agreement. It's really an agreement that the accused or whoever posts that bail will come to honor either an attendance to court or an attendance before the police. And so they say that, yes, we are ready to forfeit a certain amount of money if we don't come. And many times, they actually deposit the money they have said they're going to forfeit. And so that forces them to have to come. Otherwise, they forfeit their money and they will be looked for and arrested. Bond is you guaranteeing
Shity.
your undertaking. It's an undertaking, really. You know, undertaking that you will appear where, as and when required, with or without a surety.
Repeat that again, please.
Saying that you undertake that you're going to come and appear before court at the time set or time given.
I, the accused.
Yes, you bind yourself.
I bind myself.
That you undertake that you will come to appear as and when you are required, and that can be with or without surety. Otherwise, you forfeit a certain amount of money that is set in the bond.
Explain surety.
A surety is an individual who comes and says, release Eric, and I assure you that I will ensure that Eric comes to court. If he doesn't come to court and if he absconds, I am willing to forfeit the amount that you have set.
I came to your courts once to do that. That is why I wanted to be sure.
Yes.
The relative of mine.
You are suretives for someone.
Yes, there's a relative of mine who couldn't distinguish between what was his and what was his employer's.
The employer had marked them badly.
Yes. And they looked the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by mistake, he took what was an employer's.
Yes, he did. But the problem was it was more than one employer, so it became a bit tricky.
So when they say
Yes.
that somebody has been released on a bond of 500,000 shillings and the surety of a similar amount,
Yes.
what does that mean?
It means that the gentleman has, or whoever it is, the accused.
It's Eric.
It's Eric. Eric has bound himself, and the surety has come to assure that the money will be paid if it is required.
Okay.
And
Yes.
that surety has, if I'm your surety, I've come with my title deed worth that amount, or maybe my logbook, or just something that I deposit in court, so that in the event that you abscond court, we'll forfeit this particular.
I see.
And if you're not able to, then you serve a period of time. You can be sentenced to, you can serve the time, or you pay the amount that Eric was supposed to pay.
So the surety only risks losing the property that they've brought to court, or do they also
They can
risk
face jail
losing?
time.
You
Even
can
the
face
surety?
jail time.
Yes, because if you don't pay the amount, and if you don't produce the accused,
Yeah.
and then we come to your
I had
to
put
the,
in-
the property that you had put in.
There was a logbook.
Probably the car is, maybe you have done something, the car has disappeared, the car cannot be sold for that amount, you're not able to, make good your promise, then you can go in for 6 months.
So did you know?
Yes, it was explained to me. There was a very kind gentleman who explained all these things to me, and I asked what it is that I needed to provide as surety. They asked me what I did then. I told them I was an employee of a government parastatal. They asked me for evidence. I removed the ID, and they said, "Do you have a pay slip?" I said, "I had a pay slip." They looked at it and said, "Aye. Yani kuna watu wanalipa pesa hii Kenya." Yes,
And that was enough.
yeah, it was enough. They said, you're
Qualified.
You work for the government.
Yeah.
We can see. There's evidence. It is fine. We will take your word for it, but we'll keep a copy of this pay slip of yours, and your relative can go. But please assure him that he must distinguish clearly between what he owns and what his employers own.
Yeah. The purpose is just to ensure that the accused person attends court.
Yes,
It's a form of security to ensure that he attends court.
That's it.
that's the purpose.
That's
really.
the
Because
purpose.
it is just saying you get this one or you go to remand.
Yes.
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 It's to give you that freedom during that
Give
time.
you that freedom,
Yes.
and also to ensure you come to court.
Okay.
So in the alternative, because if you're in prison, for sure you will attend court. There is a vehicle that will
You
ensure
are
you
in a
attend.
state entity and you will go to the next.
You will come to the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah.
It's always a state scholarship.
How does a judicial officer decide, first of all, whether to go for bail or bond, and then how much?
Most times you find that a judicial officer will give either or. You can say bond with surety in like amount, or in the alternative cash bail, so much, right? And so it most times will be either or. And in small offenses, you just give cash because sometimes the process can be a little bit tedious.
Yeah.
Of verifying the documents that you have brought. And so it is either or. Someone may come and say, I'm not able to meet either or. Please give it to me free. And I give you my word that I will come. So many times we engage the probation and aftercare services to go to the community, find out about the person. Does he have relatives? Does he have family support? Is he gainfully employed? Can he be trusted?
Does he have a fixed abode?
Does he have a fixed abode? You see? So once they bring this report, then you can tell that this person can be trusted to come back. Then you can say, okay, I give you a personal bond of Kenya shillings 100,000. You go and come. If you don't come...
You still put money into that thing?
No, it's a sum. Yeah. You have to tell him that if he doesn't come, not only are we going to arrest you, but we're going to demand a certain amount from you.
If you don't come?
Yes.
Yeah. Back to ensuring you attend.
Okay. The whole idea is to make sure that you commit yourself to attending court or to police if you're required to go to police.
Yes.
Okay. Are the various bond and bail terms set in law, or is it just for the judicial officer to determine?
It's mostly discretionary, but we have a bail and bond policy, which we are guided by, which was launched in the year 2015. So basically, what the determinants are the nature of the offense, whether this guy is somebody who is a repeat offender, maybe this is not the first time he's been sentenced in court. Has he ever absconded before? Like, there are many other factors that we look at.
Is he likely to be a danger
to the witnesses? Is he likely to be a danger to the witnesses or the community? Sometimes even complainants will come and say, this guy is threatening us. We also obviously, there are so many factors that we look at.
Is he safe?
Is he safe himself? Because there are guys, you try release, people come and tell you, hey, we are waiting for him like this.
Tamaliza.
What? Yes, so there are various, but we are really guided by the bail and bond policy, and also it's a constitutional right. Every accused person has a right to be released on bail and bond. Of course, whether there are compelling reasons or not is another matter altogether.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll continue this conversation shortly. It's 28 minutes to 8. Our Justice Thursday conversation is underway. Today we are discussing bail and bond. Do you understand what they mean? When you're told, wewe unaweka bail, wewe unatoa cash bail, wewe umeitishwa bond, umeitishwa body. Your body. Title deed. What do you understand what this all is all about, or what it means? That's why we have the Honorable Tito Gesora. He's the Chief Magistrate at what he says is East Africa's busiest court station, the Makadara Law Courts, and the Honorable Modoni Jage, the Principal Magistrate and the National Coordinator of the Committee Service Orders. We'll be back shortly.